And we're live. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Vinyl, a sophisticated show that oh god, I had this whole thing all worked out perfectly and I fuck it up. Where we have a wine master known as Trey Busch who brings us the excellence of wine, telling us what it's about, what we're drinking. Then we bring in some facts about Pearl Jam, we talk about music, we talk about everything. But the best part about this whole damn show is the fact that I get to sit here for an hour plus and talk to the awesome Trey Busch, who for some reason looks like his video feed is from 1999 dial-up. What the hell's going on in Walla Walla, Washington?
I don't know. Can you hear me okay?
Dude, you sound crystal clear. That mic setup, I don't know who gave you that, but I'm telling you, that works out great.
I mean, the mic setup is good. I got a good camera, but yeah, I told my family to get off of our Wi-Fi. So I don't know what's going on, but as long as you can hear me,
I can
I'll
hear
just
you.
do the robot like this, and we'll call it good. I'm gonna close this door behind me. I'll let you pour that glass of wine real quick.
Yeah, so I'm excited about this because you sent me this bottle of wine. It's called the Magician's Assistant 2020. It is a rosé, which I've never had before, which is interesting. It is a
All right.
pinkish color. It's very. Now, is there now once again? I feel like I'm getting pretty good at the reds. Is there a certain way you have to pour this? Is there anything delicate about this?
No, man, it's just wine. It's beverage. It's fermented grape juice. That's
All
all it
right,
is. That's
all right,
good. That's good.
all
Yeah,
right. You
remember
know,
you gotta. Listen, Anthony, I told you, man, you gotta have room to do this.
I listen. Whoa,
You
whoa,
gotta be
whoa.
able to swirl.
Wait a minute. Listen, I can definitely do the swirl. I've been working like this. Look at this. It's all about the wrist. See that? It doesn't even look like I'm moving my hand and I'm swirling. It's cold. It's I've been working hard on this.
It's pretty good.
All
Pretty
right.
good.
So before I take my first sip of this, what should I expect from this magical looking liquid?
We're gonna we got to go backwards. We gotta talk about what rosé is.
Can I take a sip first?
You can take a sip. Why don't you tell me what you think rosé is? You know, you're looking at that, and it's pink, it's not red, it's not white. Why do you think it's pink?
Ooh, ooh, it tickles my cheeks. That was really weird. Wow. This would be good for the summertime.
That's why I make it. So this is rosé is typically a red grape. Okay, it could be Syrah, Grenache. It doesn't matter. Any red grape, right? You can make rosé out of any red grape. Typically, it's red grapes that are picked earlier than you would normally pick red grapes to make red wine out of. All right, and you can hear me, right?
Yeah, you look better. Look at this. You
Okay,
cleared.
I didn't know if you were texting me. All
No,
right,
no, no,
I
no.
got you.
I'm texting my wife because I'm telling her you need to come try this. I think I found something she liked. Before I drink
All
the,
right.
because if I drink the bottle, it's gone.
So you take a red grape that you normally make red wine out of. So let's say you take the Grenache grape, or in this instance, we're drinking the 2020 Magician's Assistant Cabernet Franc Rosé. Cabernet Franc is a grape you should know in Virginia, Anthony, because it's a widely planted grape in Virginia, and it's made famous in the Loire Valley in France, where they make 100% Cab Franc in France for red wine, as well as rosé, and it's one of the five Bordeaux varietals, which you'd find in Bordeaux blend. So if you ever see a Bordeaux blend on a wine label, you know it's Cabernet Franc is one of those five. The way you make rosé is you pick the grapes a little earlier than you would to make red wine. You bring the grapes in to the winery, and instead of putting them through a destemmer crusher, which removes the berries off of the stem, you take those grapes and typically you'll whole cluster press it. You'll take the clusters, dump them into a wine press. The wine press presses the juice out of the grape skins into a vat. That vat could be stainless steel or concrete or oak, whatever you want to ferment it to. But that juice that comes out has a very, very light pink color to it from that very short amount of time
Look at
in
this.
the press.
Here, I'm gonna have my
And
wife.
so-
I'm gonna have my wife try this, Trey, because she doesn't like wine. So I'm gonna see what she thinks, because I think she'll like this.
I've had rosé
It's
before.
the
Oh.
Not fancy kinds, but
Give it a whirl. We want to hear what you think, because I think we found something
listen,
you're gonna
that's,
like. I didn't
that's
even
the
catch
same
it.
glass. That's the same glass that Anthony drank wine out of the first show. So don't worry about it.
pretty good.
You're
I
fine.
like that more than like a red one.
You drink that more than a red one?
Yeah.
Would this be something I could bring around the fire pit? We could get drunk on.
Sure.
Good. All right. I think we found something.
All right.
All right. Good. He's making fun of the glass, because that's the glass he told me I had to get rid of to get real.
The Christmas,
The Chris-
mountain glass.
Correct.
I almost brought a Purvis cup. At least this is.
Oh yeah, I would not have brought a Tervis cup. I would get yelled at for that one.
He can't see. Nobody can see me.
No, they can't see you, but they saw the glass.
Oh, really?
They did. Yes, they saw the glass. We're live.
Look, we need to mic your wife up here. This is like Howard Stern and.
This is kind of like Howard Stern, where Beth comes downstairs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye. Bring me the strawberries.
Strawberries, pomegranate.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have this very light pink juice that you can ferment out, and we ferment ours bone dry. So this is bone dry, but when you make a rosé out of Grenache or you make a rosé out of Cab Franc, those two wines you're going to taste and smell different, because those varietals have their own characteristics that are inherent in the varietal. Cabernet Franc is known to have like a herbal note. Sometimes people use the word cut grass, fresh cut lawn.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes you hear bell pepper. That's very common with Cabernet Franc, like a green bell pepper, sometimes a sweet red pepper. But when I make rosé out of it, I tend to, we ferment this very cool. So we ferment it in a stainless steel tank around 60 degrees Fahrenheit. When we're making red wine and we're fermenting the grape skins and the juice together, that fermentation warms up considerably, and we don't chill those down. Those will get up to 90, 92 degrees typically. And so you get more extraction out of the red grape skins because it's a warmer environment. You're able to pull more color, more tan, and more flavor. Here, there's no skins involved. We're literally pressing the juice out of the skins. This very light pink juice comes out of Cab Franc. And I will tell you, Cab Franc is more copper pink than like a bright pink. Syrah, those rosés are more pink. Cab Franc, some Grenaches, Sangiovese, those tend to be a little more that copper color, a slight orangish tinge to it,
Okay.
And so you can go to a rosé aisle in a really good wine shop, and you'll see a spectrum of colors from the palest pink, almost a white wine, to really dark pink. Like there's an area called Taval who make these really they do a little skin contact. They'll actually crush the grapes and let them sit on the skins for a period of time to pull some color out. And those wines tend to be a little darker. For me, I prefer these really light colored rosés, and I think that it holds on to the freshness of the grape and the style that we're trying to make.
Okay.
And so this wine is meant to be, it's meant to be chilled. It's meant to be consumed on, a hot summer day out on the porch. But you can't dismiss them as only a summertime wine, because they're great food wines. And Thanksgiving, Christmas, a lot of the flavors that you have in those meals really dictate, they pair very well with rosé. And so I try to get out of the habit of saying like, oh, it's rosé season, because I like to think it's always rosé season.
I've been to ask you this. We've been doing the show for quite a while, which I have a big announcement about that in a minute. But what does Holly typically drink? What's like her favorite go-to wine?
Well, go-to wine, or what does she drink?
Well, like go-to wine. Like what if she had any choice of picking a bottle of wine? What's her go-to wine?
Oh, that's a great question. I'll probably Syrah. We drink more Syrah at home than anything else. That's probably why. But
Okay.
she tends to like the Syrahs that I make, and most of the Syrahs that I've poured her from other producers and stuff. But Syrah, it's a whole nother story.
No, I
We've
get
done
it.
a Syrah. We've done a Syrah on the show, I think.
Yes.
At some point, but
Well, the reason I asked that is because I was wondering, like, me and my wife differ in tastes. I didn't know if you found
Yeah.
that, like, you differ in tastes a lot, or did you all have a similar palate, or is it something that is a common thing that you find that sometimes a husband and wife are very different in tastes?
she did not drink a ton of red wine when we started dating. And so, but both of us love beer. And to be honest with you, we drink beer 5 nights a week.
And you guys look the way you do. Can you please tell me the diet you're on?
That's my off to the side beer.
The off to the
When
side
we go to
beer.
commercial, I get to drink the beer too.
Is-
We'll get back to the rosé here.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, so that's really, we both love beer, and so we drink beer, 4 to 5 nights a week, easy. But when we're out to dinner, we always drink wine. And, I'll open wine at home, 1 or 2 nights a week that we'll drink. And, I can't say there's a whole lot of bottles I pulled out of the cellar that I poured and that Holly has not liked. I think, she's got her palate is developing, and, she seemed to like almost everything that I've poured her so far. So that's good.
Good.
And not just my wines. I mean, all the wines we drink from other people. So,
But she prefers your wine.
we hope so. Getting married in 3 weeks. So
Isn't that amazing?
that's crazy. 3 weeks.
Once again, I'm just going to put it out there because I think it's the last time I can ask you, because the next show is going to be after the wedding. You sure you don't need me to marry you?
100%.
Okay, just making sure.
200%. Yeah.
100%. I'm waiting by the phone. No, what I like about this, first of all, I really like the taste and how light it is. It's a very light, like, I feel like I feel dangerously like I can drink this whole bottle of wine.
It's a tough, it's a lot like champagne, where, you're like, oh, this is so delicious and tasty, and it's got the bubbles. And then next thing you know, that bottle's gone. And if you've ever been champagne drunk, it creeps up on you pretty quickly. Rosés typically are lower in alcohol. You're going to be in that 12 to 13.5% range.
Okay.
Red wines from Washington are usually over 14%. And so what do we have to 13.2, 13.1?
13-1.
13.1. But yeah, because you're picking the grapes earlier, you have a lower sugar level. Lower sugar level is going to equate to a lower alcohol level.
Now, let me ask you about the label, because I always love looking at your labels. I feel like there's a lot of thought not only put into the development of the wine, which I can tell from the way that you talk about, like, the production and how it's put together, but I really love how the thought process in the bottle, the way it looks, and the colorfulness, and even like the woman, like, and the name, the Magician's Assistant. Can you tell me a little bit about like that and where you came up with that?
Well, that was winery name first, and you go back to Pearl Jam with Sleight of Hand, obviously.
Sure.
And so the whole magic theme came about simply because we named the winery Sleight of Hand. We didn't want to be so literal as to say, oh, this is a Pearl Jam named winery. So we thought that the imagery, because that's very important with wine labels, as you know, when you've been shopping, you're like, I'm going to say 80% of consumers that shop by label.
Unfortunately.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's why the super creative labels do well. Anyway,
Not anymore,
really
though,
the magic
Trey.
theme. Listen, pour as much as you want.
No, as I'm saying, I don't buy off labels anymore. I take my time.
Ah, there we go. Listen, what did I tell you? How should you buy? If you don't know, what do?
I call you.
You call me, or who else you talk to?
Oh, you got to talk to I go to that wine store now. I ask them.
You go to the wine shop. You ask them. That's right. That's the way to do it.
I don't go to my local food store anymore. I'm a little too. I'm better than that. You've made me that way.
You're becoming a snob already, Anthony. I can see it in you. It's in your eyes, man.
Next week, next time, I'll be wearing a button-up shirt with the nice vest and the tie. And
before you know it, you're gonna look like you. Remember the country club crowd in Caddyshack?
Yes, 100%.
And it was oh man, the president of the club or whatever his name was, and he had
With
his
the with the green
yeah,
jacket.
yeah. It wasn't even a jacket. It was like a, like a cravat or something, around his neck. And before you know it, you're gonna be wearing. You're gonna look like you're about to go to a sailing trip.
You just wait. Wait till you see what I look like in September when we do our next event. I'm just gonna come out. Well, welcome. I'm gonna have the neck thing going, and just everyone will be drinking beer, and I'm just gonna be one hand with a glass.
Listen, I always say with the rosé is pinky out, pinky out. That's a pinky out rosé.
I taste the difference with the Mickey out. It feels lighter.
So here's the thing: it's lighter in body, but it's very flavorful. There's tons of strawberries and pomegranates in there. You get there's a floral note when you smell it. There's a citrus note, which is great with white wines and rosés. I love that citrus component. Yeah, they're awesome wines. They're great food wines. They're great hanging out on a deck wine. They're typically less expensive than rarely will you find a bottle of rosé over $20. You can find an incredible selection of rosés under $20.
Now,
20
Trey,
to $30. This is $18.
that's not bad at all. Now I learned from
For you,
my
it's
mistake.
free.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Was one of the best birthday presents I ever got. Was on my birthday. This box came in with all this wine, and I was extremely grateful for that. And I thank you for that.
Yes.
With this bottle, I know in the past I made mistakes with red wine and thinking that I just put a cap on it and then it's good. Then a couple of days later, and you're like, once you open it, it's one of those things you kind of got to drink it. You really don't want to hold because it kind of loses its flavor. With this, is this something that you can put I could put in the fridge afterwards, or something that once you open it, you
White wines and rosés, you can for sure throw back in the fridge, and the refrigerator it's going to preserve that wine longer than. Oftentimes, if I don't finish a bottle of red wine, I'll throw that thing in the fridge, and then the next day, a couple hours before I'm about to drink the rest of it, I should say the next day, it'd be 2 days later. I'll pull it back out a couple hours before I'm ready to drink it, so it can come down to cellar temp at 57 to 60 degrees, and then pour it. But colder temperatures will preserve better than if you just had it at 80 degrees. Then it's going to age very quickly.
nice.
But like I said in many of our shows, Anthony, if you open a bottle of wine and can't finish it, I don't want to know you. Come on, man.
Well, listen, I don't know. Tomorrow is a huge day for the show, so I got to be on key. But knowing me, I'll probably drink the whole bottle and just snail out of bed. It's all right. It is what it is. Well, dude, I have huge news for you, by the way. I haven't even told you this. I've told nobody this except my wife. I'll have the date. I want to confirm the date here because I have the email right here. And I'm going to forward this to you in a minute. Here it is. On April 29th at 4 p.m.
April next year?
No, of this past year, on April 29th at 4 p.m.
Yes.
Our show was downloaded for the 100,000th time.
Let's Talk Vinyl?
Let's Talk Vinyl. That's it. Not any of my other shows. Let's Talk Vinyl was downloaded for the 100,000th time.
That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
That's insane.
Making it the most popular monthly show out of anything else I've done. Because I have a couple other shows that are monthly and stuff, and then I have other shows that are like one-offs, like an Even with Certain People, which I get to announce someone here in a minute. But all these things. But this show is consistently downloading huge numbers weekly, and the feedback we're actually recently started getting feedback from people that were like recommending a wine, recommending a song. We've gotten the feedback has been extremely put out there. As a matter of fact, when we turned the show on this afternoon, or this, I guess, an hour ago, depending on 30 minutes ago, in queue across all 20 some odd shares, there was 111 people waiting to tune in.
That's amazing. They're watching us?
They're watching you.
They're watching us. Come on, buddy.
That's all you. Look at that face.
I mean, look at this. I feel like I'm Robot Man. How's the video feed now? It's better though, right?
It's great.
Okay.
As I spill rosé on my
tell you, man,
laptop.
At 100,000 downloads.
Yeah.
That should afford you a plane ticket to come out here and hardwire my house. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I wish.
I mean,
Listen, we've talked about this. It's the podcasting and the video streaming world is interesting in the sense that if I'm not getting 100,000 per episode, there's no money to be made. I mean, it's ludicrous. And then it's
We're
what's
on our
happening.
way. It's got to start somewhere.
Sooner or later. It's interesting because I have been getting like once you hit a certain plateau, you start getting emails for people that want to be like, hey, can we be a sponsor on your show? And some of the things I get are not, they don't fit the show at all. Like life insurance policies, adamandeve.com. I mean, like some of the
listen, let's do it. adamandeve.com. Can you imagine? You're like, this next segment brought to you by
adamandeve.com for all of your adult needs.
adamandeve.com.
Yeah, please put in special code Trey and Holly's wedding. Trey and Holly's wedding for 10% off and that special gift.
Oh my God. Well, look, man. I can't believe that. I shouldn't say that because you started this thing and we know that I'm going to guess 98.2% of the people are Pearl Jam fans that are listening to this show. And then the other 1.8% are just wine fans. They have no interest in Pearl Jam whatsoever. That just shows you the power of the Pearl Jam fan community.
Sure.
Personally.
So the way it works is it's like, because the way that the show is like progressed in like groupings, it's under music, it's under like entertainment, it's under like a couple different categories. We were like 427th in most downloads at 2 months ago for the most popular episode, which was the it was 2 episodes ago, I forgot whatever it was, but it's not the last one before. And we were like, and I was ecstatic about that. Because, dude, there's a million fucking podcasts out there.
There's a lot of podcasts. How many Pearl Jam podcasts do you think there are? There's going to be a ton of them.
Oh, well, I mean, like, and here's the thing. And there's a lot. I know a lot of the good ones, but there is some out there that is just like, they just go out and they talk and it's like them and their friends. And there's a million of them. And there's a million music. There's a ton of wine ones. But, I don't know. Like, I think the one thing that I always, try to be proud of myself is that, oh, Jesus Christ, Brad just sent me a really dirty text. The one thing I pride myself on is that, like, I don't over prepare for any of my shows. Like, this, like, I come in and I want it to be a conversation, have a good time, so I can text my wife to bring down drink some wine or whatever. Because I want it to be feeling like natural. Like when you're tuning in, I want to feel like you're part of the conversation, not like me berating someone with questions or being boring by any sense. But man, I'll tell you, when I saw that 100,000th download, like at first I'm like, 100 downloads for this episode? I'm like, wait, no, it caught me by surprise. It's like, wow. I mean, like, some of the other shows we do were really extremely popular too, but I mean, less than it's just about over half a year that we've done this show. And that means that basically we're on track right now with the growth that we'll be at 250,000 downloads by our 1 year anniversary in August.
That's going to be awesome. We got to, when we look at that date, we've got to figure out, I mean, that's got to be a big thing.
250,000 downloads? I would think so.
I talking about like a 1 year anniversaries. We're gonna have to pull all the stops.
We're gonna have to pull all the stops. We'll have to invite some people on.
I'll make some phone calls.
I'll make some phone calls too. I'm gonna call my buddy Jesus and make him have an appearance.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm glad you like the wine. Do you have any? Are there any questions about rosé? Has anyone like chimed in like? I don't understand this. What's happening?
A lot of people seem to enjoy rosé. Going up to it, rose all day is what Stephanie says. A lot of people are jumping in with like early harvest. Danny King was mentioning that.
Yeah.
Stephanie was asking where Holly was. Working
on a dance routine as we speak.
Congrats to your wedding from that was Holly. Someone said, I think congrats to you, Gus from Holly. Yep. A lot of congrats. Hands up, wine to Wendy. We're all over the place. But no, I'll be honest with you, out of all the wines you drank, this is one, like the other ones, I feel like there was a moment in time to drink those. Like I felt like there was like moments. This, I feel like I can get a couple of bottles in the fridge and,
you should always have rosé and Riesling on hand in your refrigerator. You have 2 bottles of each of those always in the fridge. If you pull one, you got to restock it. All right.
I think it's a great idea.
That's the rule.
So it makes sense. So what you should do right now for everyone tuning in is you need to go to sleightofandsellers.com and you need to purchase that many. And maybe we need to have the what's it called?
Anthony, we're sold out of this wine.
Oh,
I'm sorry. We have Riesling available. We're sold out of our rosé.
Well, see what happens when you wait too long and you don't listen to our previous episodes.
It's like a secret Benaroya set popped up on the Pearl Jam website, and then the link gets out, and 8 minutes later it's sold out.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
What, did that happen? Did I miss something?
No, I wish that happened.
I'm waiting for the
You
water
have
bottle.
a Benaroya box set, by the way?
I do.
Is it opened and played?
Nope.
I hope.
Nope.
Come on, man.
Nope.
I opened mine the day I got it, and I played the crap out of that thing.
So
Amazing.
here's the thing. Well, first of all, I'm with me moving to Kansas City in 2 years. I'm downgrading a lot of things I have because we're gonna be renting this house out while we're in Kansas City. So I'm gonna probably sell some stuff, just kind of offset the move a little bit, so I can put a studio out there and have a studio here in both places. But yeah, no, that's one of those things where I knew it was valuable when I purchased it, and I'm like, there's certain things that I get nervous about using. But I will tell you, there's certain things that I don't have that I know people are hoarding on to that I want and I'd use, like a Pearl Jam 20 backpack, things like that. But whatever,
I was about to go get mine, but that's fine.
It's all right. There's somewhere in the Pacific Northwest.
But I use that too, man. It's not. That's a great backpack, by the way. It's
I have the other Patagonia ones.
Patagonia? What was it? Patagonia or something like that?
Yeah, Patagonia made that one for Pearl Jam 20, and then in 2013 they made the green and black one, like the over the shoulder ones, and I have both of those.
Okay.
But yeah, no, the there's only 4 items of Pearl Jam items I don't have that I would go crazy for, but other things I can just do without, because I have, dude, if you saw all the shit I have so much.
Well, what are the 4?
So it's the Kong poster from MSG. It was sold out when I was there. It was it's the Honey Hive from Charlotte, North Carolina. I ended up having to sell mine a couple years ago because just times got tough. It is the Pearl Jam 20 mural, and I just know I'll never afford that because that thing just keeps going up like the stock market and it'll never crash. And then it's the Pearl Jam 20 backpack.
You mean the all the posters together for Pearl Jam 20?
No, I have all the Pearl posters. It's the mural. It's where they made the billboard and then they made it into a poster.
Yeah, oh yes.
Hmm.
They had wasn't that multiple artists that did that?
Yes, it was Monk one, and somebody.
Yeah, somebody. Yeah.
Somebody will say it in just a minute. Yeah. Oh, look at this. A sealed one just sold for $2,200 on eBay. Do you see why I don't open this shit up?
Yeah, but you know what? I'm going to tell you right now.
I'm listening.
That album is, I have 2 albums on vinyl that when I play them, I know why I own them on vinyl, because the way they sound.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Billie Holiday and Benaroya. That Benaroya album, when you play that, it's not coming through your computer, it's not on your earbuds, it's not in your car. Coming off that wax with a good system, it sounds, that pressing of that album is so great. And so I don't know how many people, how many box sets? 2,000?
Oh, something like that. And I think I think it was
2,500 or whatever number is.
Correct.
And they all came off that one plate, and I guarantee they all sound the same way. They've all got to be amazing.
I heard a story not that long ago that they didn't make any money off of it because what it cost to produce and what they sold it for originally, they made nothing on it.
I mean, they're certainly not making $2,000 a box set off of it. And
No.
Think about this: they probably held on to 100.
Probably, yeah, because the last.
Right? I mean,
think
about
the
all
last
the
two mystery,
auctions
yeah,
that
the last two
donate
mystery
to.
boxes they had some put in there.
Right, but all the auctions that they donate to,
Oh, sure.
You know, I've seen those pop up that the band has given, and so, you know, that, yeah. I mean, it was a great box. I mean, look at the Pearl Jam what was it, 10 versus Vitality. What was the big gray box sets?
Yeah, the one where they were doing it like in groupings of 3 or 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the cost of that's got to be outrageous, but those
Sure.
also cost a lot more on release. So
Correct. Now let me ask you this: do you happen to have the Pearl Jam 20 glow in the dark vinyl?
no.
It's another one I just have sitting here and on a shelf, never been opened. One of those days, I don't know.
I mean, I have unopened vinyl, but I also have a duplicate of it that is open, and I play that.
Well, I have
So-
some facts for you from our good friend from the Pacific Northwest over the border. Number 2
Mr.
2000, but only 100 non-numbered have come out. It was originally $35 on 10 Club.
Well, no wonder they didn't make any money off of that. Jesus.
$35. I mean, damn, you can
crazy.
go, a double album is more than $35 nowadays. You go to
Yeah.
them because they just released Pink Floyd's Animals, like super high def, and it was
Right.
like $40, and I'm like, get out of here, crazy.
$40. Listen, that's a good price for that.
Yeah, but you know what it is though. So the big thing with me, so I used to be a big into vinyl. Then I got out of it because I just don't have the time to really. I don't have the time with. I'm always all over the place. Well, Apple just released that comes out June 1st. They're gonna have the HQ, the true high def music, so it's uncompressed music being able to be streamed, which is huge for someone that's an audio video and understanding like the
Yeah.
way that sound produces through quality speakers and stuff. The sound quality difference on a true system is going to be magnificent. So the fact that you're going to be able to get that true sound coming through Apple's new release, if you use Apple Music, it's going to be a game changer for people that if you're just listening to stream, then Spotify's for you. If you're listening for that quality, then Apple's going to be for you.
Okay. I
Just-
mean, I
just-
thought that Neil Young had that technology like 5 years ago.
Yeah. You know, the thing with him was he had uncompressed music that was being streamed in a way that was very, very eerily similar to vinyl. The problem with it was the files were massively huge. They didn't have enough artists signed on to the program. So, you know, you're getting this Pearl Jam Trombolo, I think it was what it was called at one point. This little triangle, whatever the hell that thing was, and etched, all numbered and stuff. And unfortunately, you didn't have the library behind it. And then basically after 2 years of having it, he sells the property off to somebody else. They don't follow through with it. And then 5 years later, you can't even use it anymore. It's a big paperweight.
And that was Ponos. What was that called? Is that right?
Ponos,
What was
Panos,
Yeah.
Ponos,
Something
I
like
don't
that. Yeah.
I don't know. The technology from that was sold to another company that utilized it for something else. I'm not sure. So
Well, at least Neil was forward thinking in that way. You know,
Well-
like he hated digital. He hated digital, hated it. And I think he was always one of the biggest proponents for, you know, that warmth of vinyl that you get,
sure.
and to be able to recreate it in some way, shape, or form. So kudos to that, at least. So.
Well, it's just real difficult. I mean, you know, I'm working on a home theater system right now, in about an hour away from me, where they're spending money to make. They want it the most warm sounding theater that you can have. We're talking probably it's 14, so it's 15 speakers total in the entire room. Overhead, back, sides, 2 subs, 2 centers, everything. But what it does is it's called split audioing. So basically, split audioing gives you the true effect. So if you have 2 people singing, like if Mike McCray, if you let's say you have Stone doing backups and Eddie doing another one, and you have true HQ, it's going to come from different points, so it fills a room in a true sound. And it's
You
great.
can tell Mike's playing in the left,
Correct.
and Stone's playing on the right, and you can
Yeah.
hear the guitar solos in that way.
Correct. That's why, like, if you get the true, like, so Nugs, when Nugs did the live stream a couple of months ago for Chicago and Seattle,
Right.
the sound quality on that is much greater and sounds better on a true system than the one that's on Amazon right now, because Amazon uses compressed sound Audiofi that actually compresses the sound. It doesn't sound as the quality like a Dolby Atmos that was coming through Nugs. That was a much more true sound.
Okay, interesting.
You know wine? I kind of know this.
No, I have no idea.
Well, listen, we're here tonight only 36 minutes into the show. We haven't even mentioned what we're here for, really, besides the wine.
Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam, In My Tree. And this time, I did not screw this one up. This is the song that was chosen by you guys last month while we were doing the show, but the song we should dig deep into. And this is an interesting song because this is a song that could change a whole set list, in my opinion. Like, you could play whatever song you want to, and as soon as you play In My Tree, the way that the beginning of the song hits, it really can change like how the rest of the show can go, because that can slow the show down if I wanted to, or it can go from a slower set right back into a positive set. So it's a unique song that the way the drum fills are, the catch, the tune, it's just a really, I don't know how someone can hate this song. Like, this is really one of those Pearl Jam songs that, in me, like, if I had to make that top 12 songs to give someone to listen to that if they've never heard Pearl Jam before, this would definitely be on that set list of songs for them to hear.
I can't wait to hear the stats on this. Like, has it, how many times has it opened? Has it ever opened? Where does it fit? I really can't wait to hear the stats on this, because the way you describe it is perfect. It fits anywhere in a Pearl Jam set. And
Correct.
it can change. It is a good segue song between, like you said, slow and fast, or, fast down to slow. But for me, man, that song, when those drums start that song off, it's goosebumps, man.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I just, immediately, it's like if you're a surfer and you're in the ocean on your surfboard, you're looking back and you fucking see that wave coming. That's what In My Tree feels like, because you know that wave is gonna build and build and build, and then when, like, they hit the chorus and the crowd goes ape shit. I love it, man. So awesome.
Yeah, and it's interesting because and we'll talk, I guess I don't want to talk about something right now, we'll wait till it, but let me ask you this question, because you brought up something. You said that you were curious about how many times, like, it opened, or how many times it closed, or where it is. How many times do you think this song has opened up a show?
I mean, less than 10 for
Okay.
sure. 5.
How many times do you think the show's closed? How many times do you think the songs close the show?
I don't think it's ever closed a show.
Okay.
I mean,
where do you think it's prominently placed in a set list?
I think that song would prominently place maybe like middle of the first or the beginning of the second set list. I don't think it's ever been in like I can't see that in like the third, or I don't see that song as a closer. So
Okay. Well, let's jump into some stats, shall we? And if you see, look, I've gotten fancier graphics. I don't know if you've noticed the background. We got a new logo on the bottom. But check this out. Boom. Fact number 1. It was first played September 14th, 1996 at the Showbox in Seattle, Washington.
I was there.
Listen, fancy pants. Not all of us are as cool as you. But, it's interesting because when I think of this song, I understand when it came out. I know when No Code came out, but I always figured this was much earlier song than 96. So it's interesting to see that because, it is about, 5-6 years from the first album. So that's interesting. All right, let's go to fact number dos. Last played was August 20th, 2018, Wrigley Field, Chicago. They didn't play it in Boston at all. Which brings me to...
I did not go to that show.
Well, here, I'm going to tell you something, too. Next Monday, we're having a special show. It's called the 1,000 Show, because next Monday is officially 1,000 days since the last Pearl Jam show in Boston, Massachusetts. So we're going to do a 1,000-day show where it's going to be what has happened since the last time Pearl Jam played a show. How many babies were made? What other albums have come out? How has the band still done things on the side? What has Pearl Jam been up to? What do they plan on doing? What has happened in the last 1,000 days with Pearl Jam? And actually, as a matter of fact, it is the longest break the band has ever had from playing shows, in between shows.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
It
makes sense. It makes sense, but
1,000 days.
That's a long time.
It's a real long time.
Yeah.
Think about this much. The next time they play a show, it will be officially over 3 years since they played the last show.
Wow.
Crazy.
You're going to make that. So the first show is going to be Ohana or See Here Now?
Is it See Here Now? I think Ohana's later in the month, isn't it?
Yeah, Ohana's like the third week.
Yeah, See Here Now. I don't know. Let me check real quick before we get slammed for being wrong. Hold on. PearlJam.com.
Brad, where you at?
I know I'm waiting. It's coming. Let's see. Here we go. That's European. Upcoming shows, European dates. Oh, that's not right. July. Oh, here we go. Pearl Jam Tour September 18th. So See Her Now Festival is the 18th, and then Ohana is the 26th.
Okay.
So See Her Now first, then Ohana Festival.
Pearl Jam always picks the worst time.
So let me ask you a question, because I'm curious. Is there any chance I'm going to see you in New Jersey?
No.
That's heartbreaking.
None. It's literally the most important part of the year for me.
No, I get it. Hey.
It's not like if it were like a show in Portland, I'd drive over for the day and go see it and come back. But that's a 3-day deal right there. Unless there's like a fly-in day of, land at 5:00.
I'll pick your ass up.
See the show, and then catch a red eye at like 2 to get back the next day.
I will pick you up and drop you off.
All right. Can you give me tickets?
I'll get you a ticket. All right. So here's something I want you to think about before we go to fact number 3. Brad says, will See Here Now be the first show? He says, personally, I don't see Pearl Jam waiting 3 years to come back and only play 2 festivals. So I send this question to you. Do you think
secret show in Seattle to warm those songs up?
I would say this, and once again, this is all hypothetical. I'm going to say this a million times. This is all hypothetical. I know nothing. Hypothetical. Do not plan around what I'm about to say. I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I would
go to adamandeve.com
and use promo code Holly and Trey's wedding to get that extra gift and free shipping on your next purchase. I can see them doing 4 shows before See Here Now Festival and 4 shows after. 4 shows before See Here Now Festival and 4 shows after Ohana. And I can see them doing the first 4 shows on the East Coast, potentially like Boston, DC, Raleigh, Atlanta. And then I could see them doing See Here Now Festival and then jumping ship to the West Coast and doing, I don't know, Seattle for 2 nights, Portland, Santa Barbara, and then Ohana.
All right. Well, you and I will be talking after our show is over.
Well, we can hypothetically talk about anything you want to.
Well, sure. Absolutely. I mean, hypothetically, how do you come up with these dates, or not dates, but locations, and the fact that it's 2 nights in Seattle, not 1, and
I don't know nothing. All I would say is this, and this is a true fact. This is the time that if your membership has been past dated and you want to go see a show, if something was to come out, I would make sure that your membership is up to date. I know nothing. I know nothing. I have no inside information. Nothing. I'm a nobody. I'm a peon. I just drink wine and talk Pearl Jam. But make sure your membership is cleared.
Oh
my!
Some more facts going on.
Good. Fact number 3. It's been played only 93 times live. I was surprised by this.
Yeah, that maybe that's why it's so special when you hear it, because it really is for me. It feels like a special song when you hear it, and you feel like you're going to be on a ride when you hear that song.
Yeah, it's like I said, you made a great example. It's one of those songs when we hear it, it's not something you hear often. If you go to a lot of shows, you're like, oh, it's been a while. It brings you back to good stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Fact number 4, only played once as an opener in 2009 in Vancouver at GM Place.
I was there with Brad.
Were you really? Did you guys go together?
Yes, 100%. That was let's see here. Think about this.
You want to look at the set list?
No, I don't. It's not that. I'm trying. Matt Gobel, my buddy Matt Gobel, and I went up to that show.
Hmm. It's interesting. So I tried looking for this video online. I couldn't find it. So because I was hoping, so Brad's saying I had such a different tempo. So, but I'm hoping that I can find, I guess, the bootlegger and stuff. But I mean, this would be an interesting. It's curious how you open up a show with this. Oh, look at this. Brad said it was the first show Sam and him went together.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Hey, fact number 4.5. Brad and Sam, otherwise known as my favorite couple outside of me and my wife, and of course you and Holly. That's their first show together. And
I love that.
It was her birthday that day too. Fact number 4.8. All right, going to fact number 5. In my tree, this is now, I don't know if this is a fact per se, because I was trying to confirm this online, but in my tree reflects Eddie Vedder's desire for peace and privacy, as well as his discomfort with fans during a period of intense fan and media attention. It was around the time No Code was produced that a deranged fan was called a user car and rammed it into Eddie Vedder's house and property, believing him to be Jesus, as well as the father of her son. Which is crazy, right?
That's not crazy. It's batshit crazy.
Yeah.
You get to that point, man, and that's when you're like, when you hear like, man, the fans ruined it for me. In that situation, the fan literally could have ruined it for us all. You know what I mean? Like he could have just dropped out at that point right there. He's like, I don't need this shit.
When we've talked about this in the past, we all have this connection with Pearl Jam and what Pearl Jam means to us. But I feel like some people need to separate what they are as musicians as their job and what they are in their personal life. It's two separate things. It's
you have to take this. Look, it's difficult, but just take the celebrity out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm fortunate enough to meet a lot of people that would be considered famous or celebrities.
Sure.
And man, they're just the coolest, nicest, regular people.
Yeah.
And you're just don't freak the fuck out. It's like you want to have a conversation with this person or tell this person what their music meant to you. They would probably be like, that is awesome. Thank you so much for, I'm glad that my music touched you in that way. And, I saw something today and Eddie Vedder was talking about, how music saved his life. Right. And there are hundreds of thousands of people who probably can say that about Pearl Jam. But it doesn't mean you need to go batshit crazy. It's like,
yeah.
So,
as I progressed as a fan, I mean, I've met everybody except Stone in the band. And the older I got, the more I was just like, hey, how you doing? Kind of ordeal, simple conversations. But you do see the fans that feel like they're there's an obligation to them. Maybe I'm saying this wrong, and I hope I'm not. But it's like,
you're right. You're right. They're like, I can't, especially if they were dismissed or they felt like they, whoever they're pining after didn't give them the attention that they felt like they deserved for that 15 seconds. But maybe that, celebrity was walking back to the dressing room and they just got done working for 3 hours and gave everything they could on the, and it's like, give them a break, Well,
it's kind of like
they don't owe you anything.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I used to wait after shows to meet people when I was younger. And then I realized, I'm like, these guys they worked for the last how many hours? Then they took a shower and they got to drive to the next city. they don't. I understand why they are the way they are 90% of the times because they're ready to move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So all right,
like if you're a 16-year-old kid, and you've been waiting out there the whole time, you'd probably love to get an autograph or something, right? Handshake, thumbs up, whatever. That's all you need.
Yeah,
is a kid,
It's been a long time since I was 16.
It's been longer for me, buddy. Trust me.
Next, this song was written by Eddie, Jack Irons, and Stone, which brings me to a question I have for you. The way that the drums are heavily influenced in a song is something that is very unique and what drives a lot of people to love this song. A lot of people go to this song because of how the drums are played and how unique it is in retrospect to other Pearl Jam songs. Do you think that maybe this song isn't as heavily played later in the career of Pearl Jam because this is such a heavily Jack Irons driven song?
No, I don't. I think,
okay.
You have Matt fucking Cameron, and he can play
sure.
anything, anytime. And so I don't think Eddie thinks about a set list and thinks, Matt doesn't want to hear this again. Or, I think that, what that does is it tells you that Jack Irons was a bad-ass drummer. I mean, he is an incredible drummer.
Mm-hmm.
And the drum beat is what that and the progression of that song is what I love about it so much. It just feels, that song just feels so positive, even though, if Eddie's message is, I'm up here in my tree, leave me alone kind of a thing, that's, that is what it is. But for me, that song just feels uplifting.
Okay.
So.
No, I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
So now comes our favorite part of the evening, where we get to enjoy the song. And if you have your favorite rosé with you, which I would highly recommend to get the most sold out bottle of rosé, maybe next year, pay attention. But let's listen to, this is at the O2 Arena back in, I think, 2009. I didn't write this down, so sue me on that. But cheers to you, Trey Busch, who I think the next time we have a show, you're either going to be married, or we're going to, I guess we'll have to figure that out.
2 weeks, 5 days.
2 weeks, 5 days. What day you get married on?
12th. June
12th. Okay. June 12th. Oh, on a Saturday. Nice. Oh, so we have plenty of time for our next show, which would be on the last day of June, which is the 30th.
Awesome.
Oh, 29th. Sorry. So, Trey Busch, I am dedicating this song, even though it has no relevance to marriage or anything, to you and Holly. You have been a great friend to me. I wish you guys many years of love and peace. And once again, if you need someone to marry you, I am here for you at your leisure. And to that, I say, enjoy this song.
Here in my tree, oh, newspapers matter not to me, oh, no more crowbars to my head, oh, I'm trading stories with door leaves instead. Yeah. Oh, there
I miss live shows. 100 fucking percent.
Yeah, that was awesome, man.
That was good. It's good.
That build, man, and when he's like, oh yeah. But you listen to those lyrics and you see where he was coming from. He's trying to hold on to what he used to have and trying to escape, in the proverbial in my tree. So
yeah,
pretty, and that represented the whole album, I think, too. But as Pearl Jam songs do, they transform in how people relate to them and how it makes them feel.
Sure.
And you go back to the song "Alive." It's not the happiest song of all, and now people look at that song as a
something that changed them, saves them. Yeah.
And "In My Tree" that way too, for me at least.
It is a beautiful song, and I think you described it so well, of it almost being like riding a surfboard. Now listen, I'm fat and overweight and cannot ride a surfboard, so I wouldn't know the experience, but I'm assuming that if you're on a surfboard and you have the crash, I've done boogie boarding, so I can attest to that, but you ride the wave, you come off, there is a lot of a high build to a low build to a high. It's a very uniquely played song that is completely different than, it's great.
Anthony will be surfing at See Here Now. We'd like to catch him live. Make sure you go to the festival and taking $5 donations.
No, but talking about See Her Now Festival, we did announce something pretty exciting today. I wonder do I have the photo I can share with everyone? I didn't even think about mentioning this, which is a party foul, like tremendously on me. I don't know why. Here it is. Let me see if I can share this. Boom. All right, done. You there still?
I'm here.
Okay, I thought I lost you there for a minute. All right, whoa.
I love this song.
I know, not that song yet. I put the wrong button. So, Jesus, look at this. This rosé is creeping up on me. On the night before See Here Now Festival, we are going to be doing an event. It's not a pre-party. It's not an after-party. It's an event. And I'm really excited about this because of the fact that it does include raising money for an absolutely amazing foundation. And that foundation is the Project Matters. And what the Project Matters is an organization that utilizes funds that they raise to get musical instruments and music lessons to people that couldn't afford it. So for a child that wants to learn how to play guitar or learn how to sing or learn how to play drums or trumpet or clarinet or whatever instrument it is, and they just can't afford it due to the financial situations that they're in, the Project Matters utilizes their project, their foundation, to help those in need. The story behind it is the founder of the project, son passed away at a very early age in life. And music was a big part of his life, so she uses his memory to basically to get this foundation off the ground. So we're raising money to give to them. So at the legendary Saint in Asbury Park, on the Friday before See Here Now Festival, starting at 5 p.m., we are going to be hosting Shore Stock. Shore Stock is going to include many bands. The house band is going to be the U.S. Americans, and Paul Wirt are the first two announced acts. There's going to be more announced as time goes on. I can't say much more than that, as it has been a crazy whirlwind getting to this point. But we have a lot of moving pieces. We have a huge group of people working on this, and we're really excited about this. This is our first out-of-studio event, so we're hoping to raise a bunch of money. We have a lot of big named musical instruments companies that are getting involved in this, too, that we're going to be announcing over the next few days. So we're hoping to make a big...
Sponsorships and stuff like that?
What's that?
Like sponsorships and stuff?
Yeah, so we have a project going on that there's going to be instruments that are handed off to people, and they're going to do something to the instrument that's unique to it.
Cool.
And then those are going to be auctioned off for money. So there's a lot of moving pieces, but I can't give away too much yet, but there's a lot of cool things that we're doing because we really want to make sure that we can raise as much money as possible to help as many people as possible. That these musicians, because listen, when I was younger, and the reason I moved to the area I'm in now, I was in a band, and I had to give up on it because, well, first of all, I wasn't talented enough, but second of all, I just couldn't afford the instruments and the ability to take lessons. And this program helps people from 25 and under get the support they need, and also it helps them emotionally because some people it might be a stress on them so bad that they need the help afterwards, and this program helps that. So definitely keep an eye out for that as things go on. More information about the event is on our Facebook and Instagram page, and soon to be the website. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love it.
Well, the reason I started Touring Fan Live, it's about a community, representing a community, helping a community, and that is what it's all about. That it's all about us coming together to help a good cause. So that is where we're at.
So, cheers to you on that, buddy.
Oh,
so did anybody have any? I'm curious as to if there are any fan comments or like their viewpoints on In My Tree, or did I just summarize everything for them and they're just silent?
It went silent. I think I should have. I think everyone's like, "Oh, Anthony's talking. Get on. We're hanging up."
How does somebody not feel so emotional about that song? It's crazy to me.
I think the lyrics, because that song, the lyrics are very well spoken and in forefront, so you can hear them very distinctly. Yep. Very early on in the early stages of listening to that song, where some of the other songs, because of the vocal styles, sometimes it takes a while to get to it. So you gather an emotional attachment to it differently than a song that you might understand the lyrics quickly, and because you understand it quickly, that it already has its meaning and it's already forefront for you. And I think because Eddie sings the song so clearly through 99% of the song, that I think that most people can tell a story from that, and maybe that's why they're not as emotionally attached to it as something that like Alive, where I don't know, I have no idea. I'm just going
off the cuff.
That's right.
You're
that's how I
riffing,
roll.
man. You're riffing.
That's right. So first of all, here's the thing, guys. Give us suggestions. What do you think that we should be playing next month?
Remember, we have Tony Bounds, who's been denied 4 months in a row.
Has he really?
Yes, his song. So if Tony's on here, you need to jump on and.
I thought this was a Tony song.
Remind us. So.
Are you sure this isn't a Tony song?
I'm 1,000% sure.
Because my suggestion, and I'm only going to suggest it if fans back it, great, would have been Future Days. After you get married, you come back from a honeymoon. Future Days might be a good tie-in to coming back and celebrating your future days with your beautiful wife. Just saying. But in the same sense, too, I'm open to suggestions.
It is a beautiful song. Future Days is beautiful. I'm trying to find the texting that I had with
Tony says present tense.
Present tense. Thank you very much, buddy.
So there it is.
It's a great song, an incredible song.
That is the song.
Incredible song. But I think it's time that because we were going to add a little new spin on our show.
New spin. And I wish I had a clever voiceover. New spin with a clever. But no, I'm not that good.
You just need You need 12 sound effects that you can go to.
I know it. Those soundboards are so damn expensive. The next show, for people asking, so we have a couple people, the next show we're doing is going to be on June 29th. Are that good for you? That's the last Tuesday of the month.
Hold on.
Which in
funny
theory...
you asked that. It's funny you asked that. It's actually, that date's not good because it literally leads into my next announcement.
Oh, shit. Okay. June 28th?
But sure, the 28th or the 30th are fine. 29th doesn't work because...
I can't do the 30th because there's a big interview that I can't announce yet, but it might be the biggest interview I've ever done.
Let's do the 28th. We'll do Monday 28th.
Monday the 28th. Chicka. You know what? I think maybe next month we should do 2 Pearl Jam songs.
All right.
And we can roll, because I can roll through the facts pretty quickly instead of milking them out a little bit. Because Brad's saying we should add Arc in it as well.
That's been played, what, 4 times live? I mean,
I don't know. You just have to wait and find out.
2 times?
So
We can
present
find out.
tense. Oh, I've already been told the 98 Seattle version. Oh, Jesus. So yeah, definitely. So let's do present tense with Arc.
Present tense with Arc. All right.
Okay. What's the wine we're drinking before you make an announcement?
Jesus.
See, dude, you can't put me on the spot and not have you on the spot as well.
Let's see here. I'm just trying to think of all the varietals that we've done so far. All right, I'm gonna throw in. This is gonna be a ringer.
And I have this, right?
Nope.
Shit.
I'm gonna send you a bottle.
Well, you know what? I'll do this too because I'm gonna need to buy a couple of these ones for the summertime.
You can't, and we're sold out of that.
Shit.
told
Do you
you
have
that.
any rosé?
No, I've none. We're sold out of that wine. We don't keep library wine of our rosé. We sell the last bottle. Last bottle is gone.
I
But-
don't know.
Next month we're gonna do my production winemaker Keith Johnson, who is my right and left hand man at the winery,
Okay.
has a label that he owns called Devium, and we're gonna drink the Devium French Creek blend, which is mostly Mourvèdre. Mourvèdre is a grape. I'll spell. How can I put this on your thing here?
Here. First of all, you don't want me to spell it because you know. Listen,
But I'm gonna text it to you. Here you go.
you text it to me and I'll post it. How's that sound?
There we go.
Got it.
So, if you are watching these podcasts and you're actually drinking what we suggest, go ask your local wine shop for a Mourvèdre. It's one of the Rhone grapes, and Keith does some cool stuff with it. So that's gonna be the wine. But here's the deal, Anthony.
I'm listening.
You and I talked about bringing an album each into the episode to talk about a little bit.
100%.
Something
Yep.
we've been listening to, or something that we love, not Pearl Jam related, right?
Of course.
I'm bringing this to the mix right here.
Ooh, he actually brought the album. Hey, look at how fancy. Built to Spill Live. Which
Built to Spill live. Okay.
I'm gonna
Built to Spill.
I'm gonna have this quietly in the background as you're talking about it.
Well, hopefully it better be Cortez the Killer, because that's all I want to hear.
That's a 20-minute long song.
That's why I love it so much. That's 20 minutes of air guitar, man. Podcast for haters. All right, back to school. The reason I wanted to talk about it now, besides the fact that Cortez the Killer was by Neil Young, Crazy Horse is got to be a top 5 song for me of all time. And that Doug Marsh and Built to Spill covered this. I'm not going to say it's better than the original, but there's no band that's done this as well as Built to Spill. All right. And I am excited to announce that I have Doug Marsh and Built to Spill playing both of my tastings in Seattle, one in Seattle and one in Walla Walla. End of June, on Tuesday, June 29th, I'm going to have Doug Marsh in my tasting room playing in a solo acoustic show. Holy shit. And then I'm going to have him on July 8th at our, July 7th. No, July 8th. July 8th. Look at that calendar here. In our Walla Walla tasting room. So I've got Doug coming to both shows, Walla Walla and Sodo. And We're gonna have them up on our website very soon, but those shows will be tiny. 120 people in Soto and a couple hundred people in Walmart.
That's huge. Like, that's really huge. That's pretty awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
Actually, you know what? That's not pretty awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm not gonna lie. So, Doug's been doing some. That's so good. The best part is he's done with the lyrics by like 3.5 minutes in. It's 17 minutes of guitar solo after that.
You know, I remember the first time hearing the song. My good friend Paul, who does all the writing, album reviews and all the reviews on touringfanlive.com under the news section, shameless plug. He showed me this song. God, 17 years ago, and he's like, and I never heard it. Like, I was like, I'd never heard "Built to Spill," and not, he's like, you gotta hear this. And I'm like, I remember listening to it, and after a while, I'm like, man, what the fuck's the song? And I'm like, I'm kind of tripping out here. You can use your imagination of what was going on, but what the this song just keep going? And it was just a really, like, it sticks with you. It's a song that sticks with you regardless. I mean, it's just. It really is a good song.
Yeah, that's Neil's magic. First of all, to write the song and to make it what it was. But I love how Doug does two things. And Doug is one of the most incredible guitar players I've ever watched play guitar. Doug plays this song true to its soul, and you feel Neil in this song. But it's Doug, right? Like, the way he finishes the song off is Built to Spill. It's Doug Martin. And so, if you've never gotten into Doug Martin, or you've never gotten into Built to Spill or True People, I highly recommend you just do a deep dive into their catalog. I honestly think they're one of the most influential bands in the 90s that you just never hear crop up in the top 10. I think that they were as important as the top 10. And so, but that's me. But Doug, Doug is a much more insular guy, and not like just didn't want the 42 country year-and-a-half tour to make shit happen.
Sure.
So he's like, I'm just gonna make it happen my way in the Northwest, and he did.
Dude, it is a really good song. That is 100% agree with you on that one. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge Built to Spill fan. It never was something that, like, hold on a second, calm down, Jesus. It wasn't like it was something that I never listened to the band before. Like, it wasn't something that, like, I really dug into. So what I'm going to do is,
that's why you have to go back and do the deep dive.
I like the deep dive. I'm gonna have like a splash noise every time we mention like deep dive, like a splash noise. It's like the deep dive. Jesus. I'm trying to get something off. I also got to get something over here I got mentioned too. Now that you've mentioned this, I'm interested in it. I'm going to 100% give it a listen. Like, I'm going to deep dive.
This album is filled with songs you for sure have heard before.
I just never realized.
Well, you listen to a couple songs, you're like, yeah, Built to Spill. But, and then there's some, like, there's some deep tracks in the album too. So it's the Built to Spill live album, which is hard to find on vinyl. But if you can find it on vinyl, I highly recommend it. But you can find it on Spotify and all that other stuff.
Cool.
Give it a listen. Sure.
I will give it a listen. Now, I'm gonna stop the song because we're only 6 minutes into a 20-minute song.
You're not even close to finish yet. I was literally about to go into like the second refrain of the guitar solo, but that's fine.
No, it's all good. You know, I think as we get older, a lot of times we have music that we don't listen to often. Like then we go back to and it brings us to like memories of our childhood and things of like maybe like not even a popular band. There was a time in my life that like there was a girl that I was heavily interested in that wanted nothing to do with me, and she was into what they called California like skate music. So it was all these bands that were putting out music that 100% sounded like something you would skateboard to. And there was this band that I just listened to again for the last 2 weeks, and it's been on repeat. And it's a band called Death on Wednesday. Are you familiar with them? Nice.
Never heard of them.
This is what excites me, because this will be the first time I heard of them. So they made 2 albums in 2001 and 2003. That is it. And then what happened was they just never got successful. And it wasn't until later on in life that their music was picked up on a couple of soundtracks for movies and stuff that they got picked. But the band never wanted to get back together. But there is a great album that came out by them, which is Buying the Lie. It's called Death on Wednesday, Buying the Lie. The only place you can listen to it is on YouTube or Amazon. Like you can't. It's hard to purchase. It's ridiculous. So this song is called Stranded, and I love this song. This just brings me back to like waiting outside a record store, waiting to meet that girl that wanted nothing to do with me.
It immediately reminds you of like the Offspring.
Yeah.
Like the quick pace.
Correct. Kind of Offspring. I mean, his voice reminds me a little bit of Social Distortion potentially.
Definitely more melodic, like well fast punk. Like punk pop. Like
Very much punk pop. Yeah, this is a great workout song. So this
drummer is busy, by the way. Busy drummer.
Oh god. Yeah. He was that. Remember Travis Barker from Blink-182? Very skinny, all over the place, 100%. But yeah, this was like I listened to this album back in 2004. Like on repeat so many times. Didn't listen to it for 17 years. And then for some reason, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, I would just happen to be deep diving into like, so iTunes now has this feature where you can listen to old music you listen to. Like you can like look at it. And you're like, what the hell is this? And then I'm like, oh my god, I totally forgot about this band. And I fell back in love with it.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, see, there's a link you can use that, I'll turn this down a little bit. There's a link you can go, you go on this link, and then you type in the year since you've had iTunes Music, and it'll go to that year, and it'll show you the top 100 songs you've listened to that year. And I think it goes far back as 2004, if you had iTunes back then. So, yeah, man, it's cool listening to like, I don't know, like I totally forgot. I would have never in my life, I probably would have never listened to this again. But then like I was like, shit, I totally, and it's a song I really dig. So
I'm gonna send you. I'm texting you right now. This band, don't say it out loud. This is gonna be my band next month. This is a band that I was so into, and that was one of those bands. You just reminded me of them a little bit. Not the music so much, but just the fact that something you listened to that was so important to you, and but sort of has fallen off my radar. So that's gonna be my band next week. Way to go! Way to save some for your wife. That wine sold out. So
you know what? Then she should have asked for a full glass. No, just joking.
A full glass in that glass would have been like half that bottle.
I know it. Someone behind the scenes at the Touring Fan Live is working on something pretty special that involves this show, wine, and glasses, and I'll be sending you something soon once we get this finalized. But we're working to bring it all together. But yeah, no, that's what I love about music. You know, music makes you feel things. It brings back memories. It kind of correlates everything. It's a really cool thing. And, you know, it just shows you how thick moving pieces work together. That's why I love, like, when I talk to anybody on, like, an Evening With show, like, I love talking to them and finding out, like, what was the music you were listening to that made you fall in love with playing an instrument? What is the album that you remember at that young age that was like, hey, this is what I want to do? Because that, you know, it just kind of, it's puzzle pieces that bring together a big image. Like, you know, this Death on Wednesday is a small piece of my life, but like that music, you know, sparked memories of God, Anthony back when he had hair, and that's just a long ass time ago.
Oh my goodness! I tell you, man, Anthony, next show, wig.
Yeah, no,
bring it, man. That'd be awesome. But let's go mullet. Let's go mullet
Jesus.
wig.
Well, I have
1984 Georgia.
All right, I have one more announcement to make. It's my next Evening With to talk about it. So on June 8th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, an Evening With Kathy Moore. Kathy's coming on. We're going to dig deep into Kathy's background, her musical taste, how she became, why there's so many people that say that it was her music and her teachings that got them to where they are, including someone we all know and love so well. But I won't say much more. You don't have to tune in on June 8th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you can't watch the show live, it's super easy. 24 hours after our show airs live, you can go on to anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast, type in the Touring Fan Live and all the shows from An Evening With, Let's Talk Vinyl, Rob and Anthony's World Tour, our new show, X Gets to Square, which is the most random show I've ever done in my entire life, or many other shows that we do. They'll all be there for you to divulge and enjoy for a lifetime of enjoyment, and get us to our 250th mark by August of this year. 250,000th mark for Let's Talk Vinyl.
250,000. We gotta make that happen.
It's the wait. So every episode we are
you like charted it. Is it going up a little more every time?
Oh, dude, yeah. So I pay a company called Buzzsprout to host my podcast, give me the logistics, everything, and we are increasing every month by about 8 to 12% of consistent growth. Over the last 4 months, at least. Over the last 4 months, our growth has been, amazing.
I have no idea why, but that is awesome.
Well, I think when we had first talked about doing the show, about mixing, the love of two different things together that, most people at our age both enjoy, Pearl Jam and wine. Let's an easy.
Talk about our age. Go ahead and define our age again, Anthony.
Define our age? I don't know. I just turned 36. You're what? You're
right. Okay. Yeah. Our age. You're right. I'm 51. Yep.
Are you really 51?
Yes, I'm 51.
I thought you were early 40s. I don't know. wait. Tell me. You're 51.
Yes.
Are you ready for this? My father is 52.
Well, this episode just took on a whole new thing.
Brad says, "Is this the exciting talk that's supposed to draw in more people?"
That's it, Brad. We're drawing him in, buddy.
And then Tony says, "Great show." I think because we're just so random and talk about just anything as we get. I think people enjoy this because as we drink, the more random shit we say.
Well, listen. Wait until we add weed to the show.
June 1st, legal in Virginia. I'm down for anything.
Is that right?
Yeah, June 1st.
It's going to be legal in Virginia June 1st?
Yeah, June.
The voting for it?
No. So June 1st, you're legally allowed to have a certain amount of marijuana. You can't.
But are they opening state stores?
So that happens 2023, which I'll be already gone by that point.
What do you mean you're gone from Virginia?
So I'm moving to Kansas City August of 2023 for about 5 years.
Is that for your kids' soccer?
My son is the youngest person in the history of Major League Soccer to sign a developmental deal at 11 years old.
That is crazy talk.
Yeah. So his first game with the
awesome.
program is a tournament in 3 weeks in Kentucky, and so he'll be going to Kansas City about once every 2 to 3 months for about a week and a half to train with them until we can move full time out there. But yeah, they believe that he has the potential of being something pretty big.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Ah, man, I knew you win.
Stop that shit. I'll still be doing the show until I'll get that phone call. Hey, Anthony. Yeah, man. Listen.
Really sorry to tell you this, but
Yeah. I can't be.
there's a surfing accident.
No, you're gonna be blunt.
Trey's never been surfing before, and he decided to go out.
You're gonna just be like, listen.
He's 89 years old.
I just
But
can't. I
I'm
just
like,
can't
you're
be
gonna go
seen
out.
with you anymore. You just have this ability to piss people off, Anthony, and I can't be known with you anymore. You need to just stop calling. Oh God.
Here's the thing. I'm 51. If Pearl Jam can play for another 30 years, I'm thinking I think the mosh pit would be a good way to go out, right? Can you imagine you're on Rolling Stone magazine, you're 84-year-old Trey Busch died in a mosh pit at a Pearl Jam concert, 2049.
It's crazy because as you get older, mortality sets in and stuff. And I was thinking the other day, I was laying in bed, it got real dark, and I was like, well, how would I want to die? I don't want to drown. I want to be. I'm like, I want to die. I want to know all my kids got married, they're happy, my wife's everything. I'm older in life, but I want to put a pair of headphones on and just I want to go out to a perfect playlist comfortably, close my eyes and it's over.
Perfect playlist would be great. You have to have that. I already have. I have a funeral playlist on my Spotify account. I'm not kidding. When you go to your funeral, all your friends are there, and you want it to be a party. For me, it's going to be a party. Right?
Dude, did you see the Motley Crue movie on Netflix?
I'm gonna have yeah, it's going to be great.
Do you saw the Motley Crue thing on Netflix? The movie? Did you see it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The beginning of that movie, that's what I want my funeral to be like. I want the craziest shit going down as I'm going buried in the ground.
That's a good way to go, for sure. So
yeah.
Well,
now, it is interesting. Well, listen, Trey, this show has clearly went over the boundary of what the hell the show's. That's cool. I'm cool with it. I love chatting with you. But I will say this, Trey, I've known you. Our anniversary, the first time we met was about 2 months ago, a month ago. In all honesty,
a year and a month ago. Yeah.
Yeah, a year and a month ago. I am so happy for you and Holly that are getting married.
Thanks.
Listen, I see you guys posting all these pictures, and you're very close, and you can feel the love between you both through things. And I just want to say this, I am so happy that you guys are getting married. I wish you nothing but success and a lifelong full of happiness and joy. So the next time we talk, we're gonna see that ring on your finger, a smile on your face, and the future bright in front of you. So with that being said, good luck. And once again, I'm waiting in the wings just in case that guy doesn't show up. So you just call me.
All right. You'll get a last minute call if Jeff's not going to be there. Otherwise, I can't wait to see you in a month on the 28th of June, which is Monday.
Correct.
Now, I will be married 2 weeks at that point. It'll be amazing. I can't wait.
I'm so happy for you. Anything else, Trey, that you want to say before we close this up?
I don't think so, man. It's as always, what a great show. It's so much fun, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. Yes, she will. That's 100%.
All right.
She does every day. That's for sure. So.
All right, you hang tight, Trey. We're going to end this on the happy note, the way we always do. Until next time, I'm Anthony. That's Trey. Buy his wine. Support sleight of hand sellers. He's getting married, which means he's going to have even more expenses. Let's make this man have a pot of money on the gold on this other side of the rainbow. Until next time, I'm Anthony. That's Trey. Thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk Vinyl.
Woo!